We all want to learn from the best, don't we? And I have been privileged and really lucky to have had that opportunity. So some of you know that I'm Deirdre Fay, and I had lived in the ashram many years ago, back in the 80s and 90s. And when I left, well, that's actually where my trauma history came up. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that I had a trauma history. I was so cut off from myself. So when my trauma history came up, I had to put myself back together again. That's a whole other story that I'll tell you about at some point. But I left there and I went to school. I got my master's degree. And then I was like, well, where do I go? And I was trusting my heart. My heart, I really didn't know how or where to go. And yet I kept trusting every step of the way. And I ended up in Boston. And one of the first people I met and engaged with there was Sarah Stewart, a great therapist, wonderful person, who happened to be working with Bessel van der Kolk at the Trauma Center at that time in Brookline. So Sarah introduced me to Bessel. Bessel had heard about the work that I'd been doing at McLean Hospital, working with people on the dissociative unit. After hours. I was doing my internship there, but after hours they'd asked me to teach yoga and meditation on the dissociative unit. So I was doing it. I was interested. How do I take what I learned and what had helped me so much and bring that and support other people? So that's what I was doing. And then Bessel heard about it and heard about my work from Sarah and invited me to join his clinic. What a amazing group of people that Bessel had around him at that time and always. He does get enormously wonderful people, and I was lucky in that. And one of the people that I was really lucky to get to know was Janina Fisher. And before I had a private practice, Janina shared her office with me, so I had a place to start. We ended up with Bette van der Kolk opening up a center in Watertown, and Janina's office was down the hall. Bette's was across the hall from me, and it just was wonderful to be around it and that kind of opportunity and learning. And Janina has been somebody that I've learned from and been a friend of mine for so many years, and she is really amazingly skillful at working with complicated trauma. And those of you who are therapists or those of you in the professional field know that when trauma is that young and disconnected and fragmented in many ways, it's really hard to have the time and the patience and to have the skillfulness of learning how to put the pieces together. And Janina is amazing at that. She was one of my main teachers and supervisors when I was at the trauma center, and then continued to be both a friend, a supervisor, a colleague. She was so interested in the becoming safely embodied skills. She saw her clients changing so much that she had her clients come to the group over and over. And then actually she started working with me with the becoming safely embodied skills because she wanted to learn that. And that's what's so incredible about Janina, is she really puts the pieces together. She's an avid learner, and she's learned all these many pieces. So why am I bringing this up? I want to tell you about, she has an online course, the certification course for complex trauma. And it weaves together all these myriad pieces that she has been studying and working with for so many years, but even more than that she has a clinical expertise in. Expertise. Not only has she worked with clients directly, but she's taught and consulted, had people consult with her for decades now around the world, and made a huge difference in it. So Janina has this course, and I want to share it with you because it's amazing to learn from somebody that is that skillful. And as I said, I've been lucky and honored to have been the beneficiary of Janina's wisdom and knowledge and friendship for all these years. And so I want to spread the wealth and let you know about it too. So here's the other thing, is that I'm giving you a 50% off coupon. So the link that I posted, which I'll repost down below in the comments, gives you 50% off, which is a great thing always, right? It's always a great thing. So if you are a professional of any kind and want to really get support from the best of the best, then I'd say, here's your chance, here's your chance. Janina is not only a genuinely wonderful person, but so bright and so able to take all these different pieces together and really consolidate it and teach it in a simple way. I would remember we'd go on these conferences and Janina would sit there absorbed in what was going on, and some of it was like, I was like, what? I couldn't put the pieces together, but she was just diligently getting it and putting it together and weaving it together. So she's amazing, bright, sensitive, empathic, and enormously skilled in this area. So if you are working with people who have complicated trauma, this is the person for you to study with. So the link is there, and feel free to post any questions you have too, because I'm glad to answer that. And as I said, I've learned from her so when did I start at the trauma center? Probably in 1996. I think it was 96, not 94. No, it was 96. So since then, still one of the main go-to people. Hey, Annie's here. That's great. Yep. So people, many of you know about Janina. I know what a great resource she is. But if you're wanting to learn something from her, this is a way to do it, especially at a discount. Who doesn't love that? All right, everybody. Bye.